A possible U.S. leak of classified documents relating to Israel's counterattack plans against Iran may be circulating on social media as the conflict continues in the Middle East. And at least 4 people are dead, including a child, after a helicopter crashes into a radio tower overnight.
And sunglasses will be needed this week as plenty of sunshine is in the forecast. Details in a few minutes.
Mountain News, first at 4, continues.
A top U.S. diplomat is in Lebanon today trying to work out a deal to end the fighting between Hezbollah and Israel. It comes as the United States investigates a possible leak of classified documents involving Israel's counterattack plans against Iran. CBS's Kamala reports from London.
Black smoke rose close to Lebanon's only international airport Monday, following a wave of Israeli strikes across the country overnight. Israel says it was targeting the bank Hezbollah uses to finance its activities, Al-Qart al-Hassan. But the bank, with multiple branches, also serves civilians that trust it more than Lebanon's financial institutions, which are in shambles after years of economic calamity. This store owner says everything is gone, and that the neighborhood is all civilian. Israel intercepted more Hezbollah-fired rockets Monday. Cross-border fighting between Israel and the U.S.-designated terror group started when Hezbollah began launching rockets in support of Hamas a day after the October 7th attacks. U.S. Special Envoy Amos Hochstein is in Beirut holding talks with Lebanese officials to broker a ceasefire.
The United States wants to end this conflict as soon as possible. That's what President Biden wants. That's what we all are working towards.
As the Middle East conflict continues to escalate, the U.S. is investigating a possible leak of classified documents. House Speaker Mike Johnson says Defense Department documents on Israel's counterattack plans against Iran may now be circulating on social media. Investigators are also looking into whether any other information may have been compromised. Kamala, CBS News, London.
The documents were first posted last week on an Iran-backed channel on the messaging app Telegram. There's just more than 2 weeks until Election Day, and both presidential candidates are focusing on Pennsylvania. With 9 electoral votes, Pennsylvania is the largest prize of the most important swing states and could hold the keys to the White House. With polls showing the race essentially tied once again, it could be the state that tips the election.
Pennsylvania is a state that went for Trump in 2016, went for Biden in 2020. It's got a lot of white working class voters. It's got large urban centers, rural communities. So Pennsylvania serves as sort of a microcosm of the country as a whole, I think, in many ways.
The state has sided with the winner of the last 2 presidential elections, as he mentioned. Well, Vice President Kamala Harris celebrated her 60th birthday while on the campaign trail over the weekend. She visited 2 churches in Georgia yesterday where she made remarks centered around her faith. Before Harris began, the crowd sang happy birthday to her. And there's some video of the vice president. Meanwhile, former President Donald Trump put on an apron while working a shift at a McDonald's restaurant in Pennsylvania yesterday, serving fries to pre-selected supporters. He also attended a Steelers game and participated in a town hall while in the Keystone State Sunday.
My goodness, what a picture-perfect weekend we had across eastern Kentucky. We had temperatures in the 70s, and that trend continued today, and it's going to continue for the next couple of days. All is quiet right now on live pinpoint Doppler radar. You can see right there a beautiful sweep, or I shouldn't say beautiful, but a clean sweep, if you will, across eastern Kentucky. And here's what's beautiful. That shot right there out of Wayne County, Kentucky. Plenty of sunshine, not a cloud in the sky, and temperatures in the 60s and 70s. We're at 67 Grundy, 72 in Logan, 77 in Somerset. Moorhead's at 73. Jackson, good afternoon to you. You're at 74, 75 in Williamsburg, 76 in Middlesboro. In the next several hours, keeps us relatively quiet. Temperatures will be in the 60s by the 7 o'clock hour. By 9 o'clock, we'll go to 61, then mid-50s. As we go throughout the overnight hours, low 50s, even upper 40s. As we start your Tuesday, which is where you'll be when you wake up in the morning, upper 40s and low 50s across portions of the area, upper 30s towards Monticello, low 40s towards Pikeville, as well as Clintwood. Now, coming up in the next check of weather, we're going to talk about rain chances, and we're going to talk about cooler temperatures. That's coming up in the First Alert forecast in a few minutes. Steve.
All right, thank you very much. Now to Houston, Texas, where a private helicopter crashed into a radio tower, killing at least 4 people, including a child. Investigators are working to learn what went wrong. CBS's Janet Shamlian has the story.
Video shows a helicopter going down in a ball of flames Sunday night after slamming into a radio tower and sending metal debris crumbling to the ground.
This is a tragic event tonight. It's a tragic loss of life.
The crash happened in downtown Houston after a private helicopter took off from Ellington Field, 17 miles away. Police say all 4 people on board, including a child, were killed.
Do you have any idea what tower that was? Sorry, we have a situation going on, so I just need a minute from everybody.
The FAA issued an alert last Wednesday indicating the lights on that radio tower were reported as inoperable.
I didn't know if it was a chemical explosion or if there was, I didn't know what had happened. So my immediate thought was just to honestly get in my car and evacuate.
Officials say no other buildings or homes near the site were impacted, and the FAA is investigating.
The residents are secure and safe, but we have a terrible accident scene.
Janet Shamlian, CBS News, Houston.
Authorities in Georgia are trying to figure out what caused a deadly dock collapse over the weekend. 7 people were killed when part of a ferry dock gave way Saturday on Sapelo Island. Officials say more than 40 people were on the gangway at the time, and the structure should have been able to hold them. Crowds had gathered on the island for an African-American cultural celebration. The mayor and historian says they are focused on healing.
We're children of enslavement. So we're built to know how to make it through suffering in hard times. So we're going to bounce back.
The gangway was built just 3 years ago, and state officials say it should have only required minimal maintenance. Sean Diddy Combs is facing 7 new civil lawsuits. They are from 3 women and 4 men and were filed in New York today. The suits allege rape, sexual assault, sexual harassment, and more at Combs's parties. In one claim, other celebrities are accused of participating as well, though it's unclear who. Most of the plaintiffs accuse Combs of drugging them. Another major shakeup at Disney as the company is changing its board chair for the 4th time in 3 years. Disney announced today that Chairman Mark Parker will step down at the end of the year. Morgan Stanley CEO James Gorman will replace Parker starting in 2025. Gorman will be tasked with finding a new CEO following Bob Iger's departure. Some ex-users are up in arms after the social media company changed its terms of service to let its AI train on everyone's posts. Artists and others in creative roles are concerned about their work being used to train computers that could someday replace human creators entirely. The terms say any users who continue to use X on November 15th will be agreeing to the updated terms. It is unclear if users can opt out of their posts being used to train AI. Students from Perry County Central High School have collected donations for babies impacted by Hurricane Helene. Set up by the speech and debate team, each class was in competition to get the most amount of items. Coach Samantha Turner says as the donations began to trickle in, it soon became overwhelming with more than 1,000 items.
Well, I was overwhelmed. When I sent the final email out to the staff, the heading, I just put wow, because that's the only word I had was wow. Myself or the other, my speech team had no plans on the drive being this big.
Turner says the students wanted to give back to babies after seeing several without food, clothes, and diapers. She says the items will be driven by the Roscoe's Daughter organization to North Carolina, Tennessee, and Virginia. The Paintsville Johnson County Emergency Management and 911 Center are now in a new location. Originally on Euclid Avenue, officials moved to the old Paintsville Tourism Building on Highway 40 off US 23. Director Gary McClure says the old space had been there for decades, needing several updates.
The building that we was in was built in the 1940s, and of course it's been City Hall, Police Department, utilities, used to be a fire station downstairs. It was about the center point of everywhere.
McClure says the new location is more convenient for the departments as they continue serving the people of the county. Coming up on First at 4, a new contract proposal could lead to the end of the Boeing union workers' strike.
And we're first alerting you to plenty of sunshine this week. You'll need the sunglasses. We're going to make another run for the upper 70s and temperatures drop and rain chances increase. Details in a few minutes.